Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Robo Show. For those who've been following, me personally on my social media, on my Instagram, that I've really been involved in Afghanistan. We started to Save Our Allies as a campaign of Mighty Oaks Foundation. It's grown to where it's now its own independent 501c3 effort, where we've already rescued about 14,000 Americans, SIV interpreters and their families, as well as vulnerable women and children. And Christians that are being persecuted in Afghanistan. So we've been able to rescue so many people and help get them a new beginning again, a new hope for the future. And so thankful for so many of you have supported that. And through this, I've been meeting so many amazing people. And there's an organization called Interpreting Freedom Foundation that was founded by two Afghan interpreters that are amazing individuals. And I'm going to have them on today, as well as one of their board members. I normally don't do this, but I want to read some of their bios because I think it's really important to understand who these guys are, to really just give credit to what the work that they're doing, the work that they did do, serving with our service members, U.S. service members in Afghanistan for the 20 years that we were there, and then the work they're doing now to help some of our SIV interpreters that are coming to the United States. Sean is one of the board of directors. Sean deployed to Afghanistan in support of 101st Airborne. He came back from that and served as law enforcement officer. But then in 2009, he was selected to serve as a team leader with Special Operations Team for PSYOPs. And in 2011, he deployed to Helmand Province, Afghanistan. So he went back to Afghanistan. And then some of the units he was assigned to were with the United States Marine Corps, 26 with the Marines, and then the RCT-6, and also First Recon Battalion. So Sean did a incredible service deploying to Afghanistan, and then what he's doing now as a board member with Interpreting Freedom Foundation. But the two founders, really why we're on this interview today, the two founders of Interpreting Freedom Foundation. One of them's name is Zia. I guess he was nicknamed Booyah, which if you ever see something like, if you ever fire an RPG at some bad guys and you hit them and you kill all the bad guys, then somebody might yell something like Booyah, right? I don't know if that's where it came from, but I'm guessing that's where it came from. It is, okay. So Booyah he's the president and CEO of Interpreting Freedom Foundation. And by the way, it's a 501c3 nonprofit. So everybody's always asking, how do you start a nonprofit? Is it difficult? These two guys just moved here from Afghanistan and started a nonprofit. And that makes me super proud of you guys for doing that. This nonprofit focuses on serving interpreters and advocates for their needs, because you guys experienced that yourself. And both of these guys came over under SIV program for special immigrant visas, which we're bringing a lot of people over to right now. And so Booyah served the U.S. Army Special Forces from 2003 to 2014. And I'll say that again, from 2003 to 2014. A lot of U.S. military service members like me, we whine and we say, hey, I did 8 deployments to Afghanistan. Well, a lot of these interpreters don't do a deployment to Afghanistan. They do one deployment from 2003 to 2014, or 11 years deployment. And so I always think about that when I think about interpreters, how we get to come home to our families. We get a break. You guys are out there doing it nonstop. And so Booyah, despite the death threats that he received from individuals while in Afghanistan, many of these interpreters did continue to serve all that time. And so his bio reads, Booyah had firsthand experience and is familiar with the war and the effect it has on the people. Perhaps one of the most defining moments in Booyah's life was on April 6, 2008, when he accompanied a combined team of Special Operations Commands and Afghanistan commandos in the Nuristan province. Shook Valley, a lot of people have heard of the Battle of Shook Valley. They went there to capture a high-value target. His team fought for almost 7 hours, and Booyah lost his best friend and fellow interpreter, CK. Despite this, he pushed through the battle and helped carry his wounded team members to safety for the next 6 hours. Many people in the U.S. service would probably get like a Silver Star or even be nominated for the Medal of Honor for something like this. After the battle ended, many of the combined forces were wounded, and many of the U.S. service members received awards and medals. At CK's funeral, As a sign of respect and solidarity, Booyah and Blade, who I'll talk about in a second, along with other interpreters, were given commemorative Purple Hearts from the U.S. military. They were given Purple Hearts from their team commander. And not only that, but they were also given a Combat Infantryman badge for being wounded in action and carrying wounded soldiers to safety. Booyah has made his home now in the United States, and he's really getting kind of embedded in the United States and getting a lot of help from the American people with this Interpreting Freedom Foundation. And we want to really showcase that today to all of you guys so you know what it is he's doing, the important work he's doing. So I'm going to shift over to Blade. Just after he graduated high school, he joined the United States Army Special Forces as a combat interpreter and cultural advisor. He engaged in combat missions for 9 years. I'll say again, like 9 straight years, not 9 deployments, but 9 straight years. During his time in service, Blade experienced the loss of numerous friends and teammates, but he never imagined he'd also lose his longtime childhood friend and schoolmate, Special Forces interpreter CK, in that same battle in Shook Valley that I spoke about earlier. And even though that he had been wounded in this battle, and he lost several friends, Blade continued to fight. He was never backed down, and he was also given a commemorative Purple Heart and Combat Infantry badge for his relentless dedication and support. Blade came to the United States. Coming to the United States, he faced a lot of hardships personally. Him and his wife lost their newborn child. They were devastated, heartbroken. They had to raise money to bury their child because they didn't get the support from the American people that you'd think they would have gotten for the service they did in our country, which makes me really sad to have read this. Right? They didn't get the support. They had to raise money to bury their child after coming here, despite having doing so much for the United States. Blade was delivering pizzas for Domino's. That's the job he got when he got here. And one night he was brutally attacked by 3 men, knocked unconscious. They stole everything he had and left him bleeding, and left him for dead essentially. And that made him feel like unsafe and unwelcomed here to America. The American dream he came here for, that he actually fought for in Afghanistan. So that's something that I think, from what I'm reading and talking to you guys, really inspired him to start Interpreting Freedom Foundation as well, so other Afghan interpreters would not have the same experience coming into America. In addition to everything I just read in their bios, a lot of people have heard, I hope you've heard, of Operation Neptune Spear, which was the raid for Osama bin Laden. And both Blade and Booyah were part of the QRF, the Quick Reactionary Force, for Neptune Spear. So an incredible opportunity for you guys to be part of that. And it makes me super proud to have you guys on. Another thing that they were involved in was Extortion 17, which is a major operation that many people know about. They were QRF for Extortion 17. Blade was actually boots in the ground for Extortion 17 and lost some friends there as well. So long introduction, but I thought it's very necessary so people know who you guys are. And I want to personally, before we get started, thank you guys for your service to the U.S. service members. This SIV thing, people don't really understand what it means to be an Afghan interpreter to the United States military, because they confuse it with every other war. And I'm not insulting those who served in Iraq, and I'm not insulting any interpreters in Iraq, but there's something different about Afghan interpreters and the relationship they had with U.S. service members. Culturally, I think there's something different about Afghans, the way Afghans culturally build relationships with people. And there's something different about the way Afghans embed it with our service members that made it a very special relationship. And for me personally, all this that I've been involved in started with me having a personal relationship with my interpreter, Aziz, and wanting to go get him. And I think there's so many people that could talk about you, Blade, and you, Booyah, and the personal relationship they have with you guys on the battlefield. And so I thank you for keeping our service members safe. Many of them were able to come home to their wives and children because of you guys. I thank you for your service to America. And I wish your transition here would have been better, especially for you, Blade. But, I can't change that now, but we can work together to make it better for so many SIVs that are coming here. And so I really thank you guys for the effort you're doing. And I want to talk about that today. I don't know who wants to go first. Maybe Sean, you could kick it off and then hand it over to these guys, just to give an overview.
Thank you, Chad. What, thank you for this introduction.
Interpreting freedom is all about.
Really appreciate it. These guys are they're real heroes, and they're not just American heroes; they're Afghan heroes. As we're here meeting other Afghans, their reputation precedes themselves. When we speak with other linguists, and they say, "Who is this?" and they say Zia, and they're like, "You're the Zia," and like he's like, "Yeah, I'm the Zia." And people don't believe they're actually talking to him on the Afghan front, because he is militarily, he's like you or Tim Kennedy in Afghanistan. Like every Afghan warfighter, coalition warfighter knows who the Zia is in the blade. With that said, to your point also about awards, out of that Shock Valley battle, there was 2 Medals of Honor awarded and 11 Silver Stars. Zia and Blade have both personally been attended both the Medal of Honor ceremonies at the White House, and both were recognized at the White House by former President Trump for their service to our country and their camaraderie and what they did to support their supported units and fellow service members. Zia and Blade founded it in 2018. It's committed to supporting our Afghan allies and families, interpreters, allies, and their families as they transition to their new life as community members in the United States of America. We provide comprehensive support services for all U.S. combat interpreters who are engaged in Operation Enduring Freedom. We have five primary programs: advocacy and government affairs. We help SIVs navigate the SIV process, as well as we're helping P1s, P2s, possibly looking at how we can get them upgraded to SIV. And then ultimately, we want to assist these people get their LPR, or lawful permanent residence status, and possibly citizenship. Additionally, there's some things in the government affairs realm that we're working on to try to address and assist with future evacuations to make your job a little bit easier, what you're doing at Mighty Oaks. Our second core program is housing. Is a lot of these people, refugees or our allies, are being released from these camps or being sent to communities. And in some cases, they're facing situations where, like Zia and Blade, they're actually possibly going into homeless shelters. So we're trying to provide transitional support to provide shelter and housing for them when they first show up. And then additionally, get them to permanent housing. With that is furnishing those houses and so on and so forth. We provide job skills and skills training. Western cultural orientation is extremely important. As we work with these individuals, some of their family members especially need to understand that there's clear legal, social norms, social taboos, differences in our cultures. In order to set the Afghans up for the greatest success, we want them to know that in many cases, some certain things that were appropriate or inappropriate in Afghanistan. It's the opposite here, that there's some things they did in Afghanistan that they can't be doing here. That's really important because we want them to integrate into the community and not experience road bumps or negative law enforcement experiences. We work on resume building, driver's licensing, additionally, community relations. Within the community relations realm, beyond community service, that will allow the Afghans to grow their greater network in their community that they're joining and make new people to support them. But also Afghan to Afghan peer mentorship, where we take SIVs and interpreters that have been here for a while, connect them with the newly arrived people, and that gives them a battle buddy to help them through. Additionally, for interpreters that we're able to connect them back to their initial supported units, we want to connect them back to their units and maybe some of those service members that they worked with. We call that Operation Connect Vet. And we believe a secondary effect of that is it could affect matters of post-traumatic stress and suicide rates, because we've been a long-time advocate for believing that the modern day warrior needs two things to survive: a battle buddy and a mission. And by taking these interpreters and connecting them back to service members they previously worked with, we're providing that service member with another battle buddy as well as a mission to help get that interpreter on their feet. Finally, our fifth program is basic life support. That's what we call it. We're talking about food, water, a little bit of transportation, possibly linguist assistance for family members, toiletry items, household goods, connecting utilities. So nothing we're doing here is lavish. We are truly just trying to fulfill Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as well as to set these guys up to be contributing members of society in the communities that they're joining.
Yeah, awesome. I love to hear from you guys. Well, first of all, I want to make sure you guys know that those watching, that these guys are right now in Fort Pickett, Virginia. They're working with Save Our Allies. All these organizations working together. The Independence Fund, Interpreting Freedom Foundation, Mighty Oaks Foundation. So many volunteers from around the country. They're all at Fort Pickett right now. Whereas one of our humanitarian centers, we call safe harbors, and helping people get all their daily needs and everything they need to integrate in American society. So I think it's kind of
thank
cool
you so much,
these
Chad,
service members walking in the back.
everything that you're doing.
So, all right,
you saved a
Ziaulhaq,
lot
let's
of
hear from you, man.
people's lives, and you brought a lot of families over here, and you saved them, and you saved those kids. Those kids will remember, and they will never ever forget those help that you guys have done for those allies that they were left behind. Thank you so much. And still we have a lot of SIVs left behind, a lot of SIVs families left behind, that they are hiding themselves from those devils that they trying to get them. And you know the situation better, that you were in the ground and you have seen all those activities that they are having in Afghanistan right now. We need you guys help. Every single SIVs that they are left behind, they are looking for help, and they have a hope that they have you guys. And we're proud of you guys, and we're proud to serve with you guys. And you guys are the heroes, and you guys are the one. Like now today, I'm very honored to, like, it is a big honor for me to be here with you, and like you save a lot of people's lives. So I can't even thank you. I'm speechless, Chad, for real. I salute. And now we know that we gave all those sacrifices was not useless. And we're proud to serve with you guys. And we will serve with you guys anytime that you guys need us. Appreciate it, Chad.
I appreciate that. And thank you so much, brother. I mean, this is something that is on, I can't imagine. I say how deep the burden is on my heart. I'll show the people, if you're on YouTube, you can see this, but this was sent to me earlier. You can't see what the little girl wrote, but it's if you're listening, it's a picture of two little girls, and they drew a picture and they wrote, "Chad, please save us." And these little girls are still in Afghanistan right now, and we're trying to help their family out. And they definitely know how to pull the heartstrings. so they know how to motivate us. And, this is who we're fighting for, and we have to help these people. I can't understand how anyone, not just in America, but in the world right now, could sit down and not want to help these people. Politics aside, who cares about President Trump or President Biden? Who cares about how bad a decision it was to pull out of Afghanistan? And right now, people need help. These little girls are being. There was some little girls this week. They were killed they got caught going to school, and they're already forcing marriages and killing interpreters for serving with us. And people are being murdered, and the world is being quiet. And while the world is being quiet, we cannot. And so I'm thankful to be working with you guys and everybody who has a heart for this. And the supporters who's listening, thankful you guys.
Recently, you just got back, and no one else can do that. So those heroes that they are here, like you, that they are saving those kids' lives. So Not everyone else can do this.
Of course. First of all, I'd like to say hi to you guys, and I want to say thank you, Chad, for having us today. And we're really honored to be here today to talk about what we have been through and what people are going through right now. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. I just want to say thank you, and everyone who had a hand on helping and evacuating people from Afghanistan. This is very helpful, and we still have to help a lot of SIVs who left behind, and they're still in Afghanistan and seeking help to get out of there because their life is in jeopardy. And thank you for saying all those nice things about us. We were really honored working for Special Forces, and now we're a part of their life, and also we're very honored that we're a U.S. citizen now, that we can continue our serve to this country from here. As interpreters in Afghanistan, we have been through a lot of hardships, a lot of problems, like you mentioned one of it, that every time we were going out from the base for the missions and stuff, and then we would come back, and then the next day we would go back. And even though the team guys were getting deployed back home after 8 months or after a certain months of their deployment, and then there was a new team coming, and then we had to continue the same thing with the new team. And then we did that for almost 9-10 years. And today, when we see people like you and people who help evacuating people and basically creating the special immigrant visa process and everything else, that's very helpful for every single interpreter or every person who worked with the U.S. Army in Afghanistan. And at the same time, as you guys know, we have been faced a lot of tragedies and during our work, and even though right now we're living in the U.S., we're continuing our regular life, and at the same time we're trying to help our brothers and sisters, but we're still being called traitors. We're still being called that we sold our country. I just want to say to our haters, to the people who hates the interpreters or the people who help the Americans, I just want to say we all born from one Adam and Eve, and we're all humans. It doesn't matter who's from USA and who's from Afghanistan. We're all humans. We all believe the same. We have to help each other. We're humankind. And then at the same time, as being an interpreter, we were just a tongue between two soldiers, Afghan soldier and US soldier. And we had nothing to do with selling our country or betraying our people, or we had nothing to do. I don't know why they don't understand what was the job of an interpreter, but they keep accusing us. But I just want to say thank you for the opportunities like this, that at least we can express ourselves, we can expand ourselves to the people. And we're asking every single one of people and Americans who are watching us right now is to please keep supporting all these nonprofit organizations, especially Interpreting Freedom Foundation, Independence Fund. We do our best based on our stories. We created this nonprofit organization to help every single person who needs help. And thank you.
Thank you, guys. You know, one of the things I'm hearing you talking, I want to make sure everybody understands, especially the Afghans listening. There's been a lot of people in America that have somewhat, I'll use the word ignorantly, and I use it as an insult, but I'll say ignorantly, meaning they don't have the information to communicate it accurately. Ignorantly have said that how can we continue to fight for Afghanistan, America, when the Afghans won't fight for themselves? And I don't want to get political here, but even President Biden said that. And nothing could be further from the truth. You guys represent the Afghans that I witnessed, the patriot Afghans that fought for the freedom in their country so their daughters could go to school and live free and go play in the streets. The patriot Afghans that believed in Afghanistan could be a place where people could have opportunity and thrive. I've seen, witnessed, you guys believe that, and then not only believe in that, but chose to, against the popularity, chose to serve with the United States military because you believe that in the fight against terrorism, and believed in that the world didn't need radical terrorism in it, and you guys chose to do that. And that level of courage, I don't think people can understand, because to say that Afghans weren't willing to fight for themselves is so untrue. When you look at the last 20 years, 60,000 Afghans gave their lives fighting for Afghanistan. 60,000. That would be the equivalent population-wise of what, of like a civil war lost in America. So many Afghans died giving their lives to fight for their country. So it's such an insult for anyone to say that Afghans wouldn't fight for themselves. When we pulled out of Afghanistan, when the United States pulled out of Afghanistan, the entire world pulled out with them. We gave up Bagram Air Force Base. The international community stopped supporting the Afghan National Army and the Afghan National Police. Air support was going immediately. We left these people there, these Afghan soldiers there, with no ability to be successful. In fact, not only did we do that, but we negotiated, our governments negotiated with the Taliban, not with the Afghan National Army. We really set them up for failure. And then you have to consider, like, if I was a U.S. service member in Afghanistan and the rug was pulled out from under me, I could pick up and go home. My family's not at risk, but these Afghan National Army, these Afghan National Police that were there, they're not away on deployment. Their family, their wife and kids are down the street. They were left with a no-win scenario. And so it was nothing about them not wanting to fight for their country. They have fought for their country for the last 20 years. These two men that I'm on here with fought for their country. And not only did they do that, but they fought to keep our fellow U.S. service members safe. And so I want all the Afghans to know, because I know as a war culture, you guys are like me. You don't want to be insulted about your status as a warrior. To be called a coward is like the worst thing that you could be called. And for the Afghan listening, those who served with you know better. You are not cowards. You're warriors, and you fought for your country. You fought for your service members, and you should be proud of that, regardless of what's happening now. And don't let anyone ever tell you that you wasn't willing to fight for your country, because those of us who went there with you, seen you guys were willing to fight for your country at the cost of 60,000 of you. I think it's an important message for everyone to know, and I just felt obligated to say it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Chad. We are very proud that we did this, and of course, we never feel like why we did it, because the people who hate us, they don't probably understand our position, and they don't understand what an interpreter is, and they just say whatever they want to say, because, and I don't blame them, especially people in Afghanistan. I just want to tell you is that people like me, we born in war, we raised in war, we did the war ourselves, and then now we're out. So what they expect from us, or what do you expect from those people? And at the same time, they were away from education and everything because of last 40 years war. So yeah. So that's fine. But I just want to say to the people who understands and who knows our sacrifices, and people like you guys, they have to support.
Yeah. And so, for those listening today, I know this is not a typical interview, but I think you got a good chance to hear from these guys who they are. It's a great example of who the Afghan interpreters are and who these represents, these SIV cases, because a lot of people are saying, who are these people? And I've been saying they're our brothers, they're our friends, they're vetted. We know who they are. We know who their families are. Let's bring them here. They're there's some Americans I'll trade SIVs out with all day long that they could go live in Afghanistan, and we'll bring the good SIVs here, So this is who they are. This is the amazing people that we want to integrate into our society and be contributors to America. And many of them are coming. We got many of them out, and they're coming, and they're going to be an incredible contribution. I mean, people that start 501c3s and give back right away before this country's ever given them anything. And so these are the kind of people we're bringing. And I'm urging you to get behind this effort. I've been asking, get behind Save Our Allies, get behind the Independence Fund, but get behind these two guys. These two guys, you know, that you can go on their website and you could donate there. You could support them, and you could share their message. If you know any Afghans that are integrating and getting back, these are the kind of guys that could help them. So definitely go check the website out. Why don't you guys give the website, please?
Interpretingfreedom.org. www.interpretingfreedom.org. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find us there. Really, right now, what we need most is cash donations, y'all. I know everybody says that, but if you knew what we were up against, what we're seeing right now, we're tracking 1,200 individuals coming to North Carolina alone, that's roughly 200 families. And there's so many shortfalls and gaps we have to fill. We're in meetings every day talking about we don't have the resources. I'm sorry, but it looks like somebody's going to go to a homeless shelter because we can't afford to put them up for a hotel long enough. So donations, you can donate whatever you got. Go to our website, check it out. We got an extensive list.
Imagine like if you're listening, like, should I help? Shouldn't I help? Imagine being in wherever you are right now in your home. You have your car. You're gonna have dinner tonight. You have you have clothes to wear tomorrow. You have all these things, but then tomorrow morning you wake up and you have nothing, absolutely nothing. You're in a foreign country. You have no house. You have no food. You have no clothes. Your kids don't have baby formula, like diapers. You have nothing. You don't even have the ability to go buy anything. You don't have a job. You don't have a bank account. You can't even do it if you want to. You're dependent. You find yourself in a moment instantly dependent on someone else to help. You can't help yourself. No matter how strong you are, no matter how capable you are, you can't help yourself. That's the situation these people are in. And the mechanism to help these people or organizations like these guys, you could jump in and help, get a family settled. But just put yourself in that situation for a moment. And that's where these people are.
Most of those guys that they are coming over here, they're just coming with 2 pair of clothes. And you saw everybody that they came. They left everything behind. They have no shoes. They have no clothes to wear. So they came here with nothing. So these people need help. If our U.S. citizen want to help, this is a time we need to help those guys who took bullets for both countries.
Yeah.
So Interpreting Freedom Foundation is a nonprofit organization, is a tax-deductible 501c3. Please go to our website, www.interpretingfreedom.org. We need you guys' help. Please support us, and thank you so much. Appreciate it, Chad.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Chad. I just want to say at the end that, like Booyah mentioned and you mentioned, a lot of them came with a backpack, a pair of clothes, and then some of them even lost that during getting into the airport. So they came with the bare hands. And as I just want to say to the supporters who's supporting us and who's donating, that we're going to take care of every single penny that you donate in our Interpreting Freedom Foundation. We're going to put it in the right place for you, and you will get the prayers and respect for it.
Yeah.
We have a counter on our website. You'll be able to watch the impact of your donor dollars. And now is our time of need. If you guys want to know what these guys did to sacrifice for you, just Google the Battle of Shock Valley and some of the documentaries about that battle. I mean, both these gentlemen right here endured hours, surrounded a 13, 16-man team surrounded by hundreds of Talibans that they fought off for hours. And unfortunately, they lost their best friend, CK, in the process, who Zia's living very much his life in memory of CK, his blade as well. But these guys are heroes, and we are begging you, please help us, help those that supported us, help our allies. www.interpretingfreedom.org. Now is the time. And the Mighty Oaks Foundation as well.
All right, guys, I want you to visit saveourallies.org. What Save Our Allies is, it's an effort to rescue Americans and our allies that are still stuck in Afghanistan after the United States pullout. It began with me going to get my friend and his family, and it ended after me and 12 of my friends went there. It ended 10 days later where we ultimately got 12,000 people out. The mission continues. We're going to continue to rescue people. We're going to make sure that these people go from the home they lost to a new home and a new beginning with a new sense of hope. We need to support this effort. We need your help.